Welcome to the Podnas with Face, Pat, and Tiz.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Podnas, a show with three friends separated by distance, connected by brotherhood, having weekly conversations that you can join in on. As always, on 1/3 of the Podnas, your boy Tiz, along with
Yup is the artist creator currently known as the Padawan here in Virginia with my homeboy.
What it is, man, is Face.
First of all, man, before we get into this episode, I want to first shout out, we got two supporters, our first two supporters that bought us some coffee on buymeacoffee.com.
Thank you.
Look for the Podnas on there if you want to support us financially. But thank you to Gator Girl 04 and Joseph Miles. All financial donations are appreciated. You made Face's birthday a little special, and you gave us our first money to split. So God bless you. Thank you for supporting us. We hope to continue to make content that entertains, enlightens, and just, add something to your day in some way. So thank you.
Thank y'all, man.
Yes.
Most appreciative.
So first up tonight,
Yeah. So being we're in this phase of the pandemic, they got vaccines and all coming out. You got some messing people up. You got some not messing people up so much. So my first question, are y'all taking the vaccine?
As of right now, I have no need to, because I'm still pretty much in a super socially distant situation. It's, just us in the crib, we chilling. We are on virtual everything, from meetings to business to everything we do is virtual in our house. So, we at this moment, no, but if it comes to a situation where somehow I am forced to be in a grouping where I'm going to be around a lot of people and I don't know who got what, then I'll consider it. But I'm still kind of watching everybody who's gotten it, making sure that, I see what the side effects look like. I see, what this batch is talking about. And then, I'll but I'm open to it. What about you, Pat?
Not yet. I'm still worried about it. I feel like if time comes, maybe if I need to, but I ain't really too big on needles anyway, to tell you the God honest truth. Not no real big conspiracy theory reason or anything, even though that would be so entertaining. But nah, I don't think I'm do it yet. But I feel a little bit more. I feel a little bit more confident about it. The more I hear about it, the more I see people actually take it or whatever. I don't know. I saw Bill Nye the Science Guy talk about it, and after he talked about it, I felt real confident because it's Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Exactly.
That's about it.
No, he's gonna hold it down for you. So, an offshoot from that one, with everybody going back to work and the vaccine being available now, my question is, do y'all feel employees have the right to make it an employment condition for new hires to have taken the vaccine, or on the other side, for people who are already employed with them to get the vaccine to continue to be employed?
I would say, first of all, it depends. If you are a government employee, then no. But if you are a private employee, then yeah, whatever it says in your contract or your bylaws or whatever, however your company is structured, whatever that say, that's legally what you're allowed to do with your company. Because people don't, that's the thing with working for somebody, you don't have to work for that person. You're choosing to accept that job offer from that place, and they're choosing to hire you. So it's a back and forth there. Private companies can do what they want. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna take nobody's personal right, because if I have a company with the Podnas, I don't want nobody telling me what we can do with our company. I don't know. I just feel I think people need to be smart about what sectors they work in and know the risk thereof. Like there are certain sectors that you kind of know, like if it comes to certain emergency situations, if I'm going to stay working in this sector, I'm going to have to do this because this is what I want to do. And if you don't like to do that, you don't have to do that. Like that's the thing. Like nobody's saying they're going to make you do it. They're just saying that if you work for them, this is what they require. You can leave that place, go get another job if you like, or whatever you want to try. Like, but that's your options. Everybody got options.
It's well, you bringing it up, that remind me, because I saw today Biden was doing this executive order, and I think he has like some type of plan where if you get fired or feel comfortable about a situation because of COVID or whatever, you still get unemployment or and with it. So I don't know. You saying that just brought that up in my head pretty much. But I think right now, well, for my job, I'm working from home. So that's another reason why I'm not really pressed about the vaccine right now, because I'm not in that place and they really want us to stay at home. They're talking about June, but they said that last year. So it might get prolonged again or whatever. And I, work in an office call center situation, and that's like ground zero for people being around people, in general. So I think if anything, probably before we actually go back in those buildings, it might be you have to get a vaccine or something like that. But the way it's looking, it more look like they're preparing to just have everybody be virtual and work from home pretty much. I think it's getting to a point where companies is thinking about like, all right, we had these buildings where people were working in. Now they can't even work in those buildings or whatever. Why am I still paying this money for this building? Pretty much. So, and yeah, that's I know I kind of went off on a tangent, but that's just a few things that I thought about with the vaccine and everything. But right now, nah.
I feel you. See, it's kind of different for me because I haven't taken it, but my wife has. You feel me? Because she works in the prison system. So being she's constantly around inmates, and the inmates have already been exposed. So it's a lot of inmates who have COVID. You feel me? No one's focusing in on it, but a lot of the inmate population has it. Where is it coming from? Inmates can't go outside. Inmates can't be in the street. So out here, it's the guards and the personnel bringing it in. So being nobody in my family, my immediate family has had COVID. My wife, none of my kids, and my mother, my grandmother, we haven't had COVID. My wife went ahead and got vaccinated so she can do her job as far as helping protect her family and herself, because she has to constantly go to that environment. I haven't, because I don't work around nobody at my job. I'm just me in the office by myself, so I don't work around nobody. I come into contact with the occasional client here and there when they do come in the office, but it's a requirement for before you step in the office, you have to have a mask on. Those who are not, I go outside in the system and I have to be masked up at all times anyway. So I'm not in a rush to take it. My wife is taking it. I've already taken a COVID test before, recently. So, and I'm negative for that. So I'm not in a rush, just like you, Pat. But if I had to, I would, because I'm not totally against it. Ain't no conspiracy theory for me either, standing in the way. I don't see no true negative stuff against trying to do my job as far as protecting myself and others around me. As everybody always says, it's 6 degrees of separation between every person. So every 6 people I see and touch and meet or I speak to, each of those got 6 different people, the 6 people, and 6 people. So it spreads real quick. So if I'm not doing my part, I just got to think of everybody I come in contact and they come in contact, because I'm putting their lives in potential risk if I don't do my part. So if it comes down to the point where I feel like it's a necessity for me to take it, I'm not against it and I will take it. As far as the employers, I feel like private institutions, they basically got their own right to do what they want to. It's a private institution. Like if you own your own company, the boss should make your rules. Government officials, I mean, like you said, government employers, I don't feel like they have the right to do that, because that's on a different level as far as the government trying to mandate and force people to do something. Being I work for plenty of private companies, some pretty big companies, I know it's different rules when it comes to our government when they apply to privatized companies on a larger scale, because being once you get to a certain level with the company, you'll learn different rules and different regulations that don't apply to them, and certain ones that they make themselves. So you got state rules, federal rules, and those rules that apply to the privatized companies. So this vaccination stuff, it falls in a funny way when it applies to all that. So I just hope that the private companies that do start to make up rules and implicate this COVID policy about being vaccinated into their policies, taking account people's fears and stuff like that. Because what if I'm trying to go get a job? I got all the great qualifications, but I'm scared to death of needles. I'm petrified of needles. You feel me? Is that gonna keep you from hiring me because I can't take the vaccine because I'm petrified of needles and there's no other way they can give it to me right now? Mm-hmm. So you got to come into consideration with stuff like that, but that's neither here nor there. I'm just saying, if they do implicate these measures, some people have the right to, and we're going to see some things come into fruition as far as some people bucking against it, because just as people are going against the mask thing and fighting against that, people are going to have something to say about companies doing what they want to do to protect themselves, because at the end of the day, a company has to protect its associates, because without your associates, your company can't run. So sometimes you have to make people do what you need to do the right way. Sad to say, but sometimes you got to.
Yeah, and I think it all goes back again to like choice. You know what I mean? Like, people got the right to work for or not work for whoever, and they also got the right to protest, and the company got the right to have people take vaccines or wear masks or whatever else they want to do to make sure that they feel like their assets are covered. Like, everybody got their individual rights, and none of them, to me, as I can see, are infringing upon the other. It's just a matter of choice in each situation. So exercise your right to choice, people. I mean, you don't like something, don't do it. But yeah, speaking of choice and just different points of view and standing on that, if you've seen this movie One Night in Miami, if you have not seen it, go see it. But if you have seen it, you know it's a pretty good movie. It's not what I expected from the trailers. Me and the wife thought it was going to be like, you know, these four great black men get together and they go out and party. But it was not that. It was pretty poignant. It was pretty much it's like a meeting of the minds where these four great black men just sat around all night and just kind of bounce philosophies off one another and like try to meet somewhere in the middle. You know what I mean? And so the 4 points of view was, you had Jim Brown. He was the athlete, obviously. He was a football player. So he was into the movement, obviously, but he also wanted to enjoy, you know, like the fruits of his labor on the football field. He wanted to, you know, be a movie star. He wanted to still be able to hang out with the white girls and, you know, get the free liquor and the autographs and all, you know, the stuff that come with it. But he also recognized that, you know, stuff was wrong and he was willing to speak out on it. I feel like he represented the black person or the black man that he's down for the movement all the way, but he doesn't want to give up the luxuries of the dominant society either. He kind of wants to still have, you know, he's like 1 foot in for sure. Like, I got y'all, but I'm not going to let this part go. We're going to still have this, right? You know what I mean? Then you had Sam Cooke. He was the singer, obviously. He was like the entertainer who enjoys, like, he had his white women and the booze, and he was making music that was kind of, you know, poppy, you know what I mean? And at this time, everybody was making music that was kind of like about the movement, because this is like, you know, 63, 64 or whatever. Like, this is like the heart of the civil rights movement, like when everything was bubbling all together, you know what I mean? So like the fact that he wasn't singing or really letting his voice be a part of the movement was a problem. Now the good part was, though, he owned his own masters and had his own label. So he was like a unicorn, you know what I mean? Like, this dude was able to like flip Rolling Stones records because he was able to take his old catalog from his artists and then get them rich. So he was like building his own economic empowerment for his people, but he felt like that was the only part of the movement that was really important. Like, let me just make sure, you know, I'm making sure everybody getting their money. So that's really all that is needed right now. You know what I mean? Then you got Muhammad Ali. You know, he was still Cassius Clay at this time. He hadn't fully come out yet that he's Muhammad Ali, that he's converting to Islam and all that. So he was just getting into his fame and fortune, really, especially in America. So he hadn't announced his allegiance yet, but he was not quite like, he was down with being a Muslim, but he wasn't completely down with like how like tight their rules was and how strict their rules were. Like he still wanted to kind of have fun and party and hang out with the girls, and you know what I mean, kind of still have some fun. Like he was young, he was like maybe 22 at this time, so like, you know, like any 22-year-old person, like he was still out like, let me have some fun. I don't want to just do this. Like I want to be able to still, can I still have a little drink here and there or go out to the party with my friends? You know what I mean? Like I don't want to just be sitting around doing nothing. So he kind of represents the dude that's like, he's still deciding whether to go with the cause fully. He like on the fence, you know what I'm saying? Like he don't know whether to commit fully or like to just stay in the comfort zone and be like, well, I would just enjoy all of this fun. You know what I mean? And then you had Malcolm X, you know, obviously we know who that is. And he was like the militant Muslim, you know what I mean, who was like seeing the hypocrisy of his own organization that he was in, but he hadn't separated himself from them just yet. He was still using them for like the fact that like they owned the house that he lived in and the car that he drove, and like they owned everything that he was doing. So like they paid for everything that he was doing. So like he still needed that funding for until he was able to build up whatever he was gonna do. So he was like, he felt like the only way for Black people to like really fully like get their equality is for them to like fully immerse themselves into the movement. Like no impurities, like let's just go, you know, we're just gonna be strictly devout. Everything we're gonna be, you know, straight and narrow, like no cursing, like watch your mouth, you know, we're gonna chill, we ain't gonna eat, we're gonna eat right, we're gonna do everything perfect. But like they fail to see any of the gray areas of like life and just the people that they actually trying to reach. So they end up losing a lot of people because they're so rigid in their ideas. You know what I mean? So basically that's like the 4 point of views that was like kind of prevalent back then, you know what I mean? From everything that I've heard, seen, you know, been told about the movement, like those are kind of like the different ways that you had Black people split. And depending on which one of them sectors, depending on the groups and leaders that you kind of gravitated towards. So my question is like, first of all, did you see the movie? What you think about the movie? I thought it was really just a real cool subversion of what I thought I was gonna get. And do y'all still think that it's like those messages are relevant to today's state of Black people?
Well, I haven't been able to see that movie yet, but it's on my like list of like movies to watch pretty much because I don't know. I've been a person, I don't know, Ali movies. I watch those Ali movies. So like I watch, if it has something to do with Ali or Malcolm X for some reason, I know eventually I'm going to end up watching it. But I feel like all of those perspectives are prevalent today. It's like like I'm pretty sure we can point out anybody in pop media to like represent what Jim Brown represent or Sam represent or what Ali or X represent. Like that's just, I think that's just one of those like all 4 of those are just a point of views and struggles that we all think about. Like especially with the way Sam Cooke, the way you describe Sam Cooke way of thinking or whatever, like I understand that. Like I actually feel like that is important or whatever, but as far as neglecting the other things and the other issues that Black people go about, I don't think we should neglect that over the economic side of it, pretty much. But I do feel like the economic side is really what we need as a weapon of fighting force, or just like a shield so we can protect ourselves and our culture, pretty much. But like each one of, especially Muhammad Ali, like that I've spent a whole lifetime of people that's bouncing between being devout or saying, hey, being a straight devout Christian sometimes doesn't make sense to me, you know, back and forth. And I don't know, to say that, I feel like to me, I'm a bias because I feel like any Black media is relevant because we have a history neglected of Black media. So anytime we have something come out, I feel like it's going to be relevant. Like that's us learning us, you know, like we're still rebuilding the culture that was taken from us. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. But say you face.
Well, deal with these damn kids. I don't have much time to watch anything, but I'm Prime. I can watch for free, so I'm definitely gonna do that. Tomorrow's my day off. I guess I'll be watching that movie. But as far as the viewpoints, they're very, very much prevalent in today's society too. Like you said, Pat, you can point out any pop guy that's gonna relate with the Sam Cooke. Any athlete right now, most athletes I should say will relate with the Jim Brown, where I can say something for the movement, but I'm not gonna make a sacrifice for the movement if in relation to the context of the movie. Me personally, I don't know what sacrifices Jim Brown may have made for the movement. I'm not here to say he has or has not because I don't know the facts. But based on the movie, as far as the sentiments and the ideology placed, from what I'm told, yeah, most athletes, yeah, they're gonna speak up, especially nowadays. You have more athletes speaking up about it and using their platform to take a stand and go on strike. But at the end of the day, that's not real sacrifice because it's y'all money guaranteed. So now on the football field side, when they started to take the kneel and everything before they start being penalized, that was something. But once they start being penalized, you saw lesser and lesser people trying to take a stand. So they won't try to take too much of a sacrifice on that football side because that money's not guaranteed. So it's a difference. That's a financial choice right there when it comes to them on the athlete side. As far as the militant Black leader, as far as someone being on the Malcolm X level, I'm really not seeing it, but I see it more on a widespread instead of one main individual. I see it more in the youth of America. They have that militant spirit. They have that. I'm not going to take that. You feel me? Like they have that. Let's stand up. But they have more of the ending ideology of Malcolm X instead of the separatism where he wanted everybody totally separate. They have more of the ideology where he saw that he saw the different colors of Muslims when he went to his trip to Mecca. He saw the truth.
And then the movie that was like where he was at, he was like literally talking about he was about to go there in like 2 weeks or something like that.
Mm-hmm. So I see the youth as far as displaying that later ideology of him. You do have some people, I can say the Antifa movement, where they move by violence, they move by destruction, they move by marking their territory and stuff like that. They're more on the more militant side. But as far as a militant Black presence, I don't see a true militant Black presence. I see a defensive, like a more defensive military Black presence from the, you have a lot of more Black groups come now that are armed and they march around in the large armed groups and protest with their Second Amendments. And I do like that because that shows a sense of force that shows they're not afraid to display their arms too and exercise the rights they have now. Back in the day, we couldn't do that. So we came out with guns, they were automatically firing at us just because we tried to display our rights. Nowadays, a lot more cameras out, it's a lot more technology out, and we're not afraid to exercise all of our rights. Just like every other culture should be able to in this country. Like I said, every viewpoint in that movie is still prevalent today. It's just prevalent on different scales. Some more wide scale, some more pinged in to individuals. But yeah, I guarantee when I watch it, I'm gonna like it.
Yeah, I guarantee you are. Like, I think that's a must watch for people out there. If y'all looking for a good little movie to watch, man, it's not that long. It's like an hour some change, but it's a good movie to watch, man. Like, and if you know what I'm saying, into like historical dramas, like it's a good one. You know what I mean? It definitely makes you want to think. It's a good conversation starter. You know what I mean? For people to like just have those conversations with each other. You know what I'm saying? To like, what do you feel about this? What do you feel about that? Because they definitely go there with some subjects that I think are still kind of poignant in our community, whether it be economic empowerment, whether it be is your lack of sacrifice a detriment to the people? is the fact that you're not willing to put yourself on the line to actually say something. Is that actually hurting your people? You know, like they really kind of hit with some stuff that's kind of going on right now. You know what I mean? So definitely check it out, man. You know what I mean? And I was gonna save it for later, but like something you said, like the youth is kind of like getting to that point where they not afraid. You know what I mean? And I saw a video on Willie D's channel where a cop got knocked the hell out for calling somebody the N-word. And then right after that, I see the video of Trey Songz, you know what I mean? Shout out Third Ward, Petersburg, you know what I mean? Guillotine chokes out the cop, you know what I mean? Got him looped up, you know what I mean, for trying to rough him up. And you could tell there was something that happened before that camera caught on, and the cop actually lunged in on Trey, because you could hear the people in the background when security and everybody was coming around like, lock up the cop, lock the cop up. No, lock the cop up. So like you could tell it's something that happened before he even lunged in and started like trying to basically look like manhandle Trey real quick. And, and he realized, you know, Virginia, we don't do those. So yeah, y'all think black people just finally getting fed up? Like, do you think we finally at that like critical mass tipping point where like, okay, we done had enough now. Shit gonna get real, and if you don't change, we're gonna flip some shit over? Or do you think it's still like, we got Biden now, we're gonna go back into the, we're okay with getting beat up again. We're okay with letting y'all trounce us, damn our rights, because we got Biden, like we did with Obama?
I got two different viewpoints on that. You're gonna have some people just go back and like, well, yeah, they're finally gonna change. The Biden's in office, not forgetting what happened when the first black president was in office for 2 terms. We have to keep. I think Charlemagne the God said it. We have to keep political pressure. You know, we gotta stay on top of these officials and stay requiring them to pass laws and stuff that benefit us too. Nothing against no community, but a lot of communities get laws passed in their favor quicker than we ever could or ever will. And they're new communities. We just need something. You feel me? It's more than it's more than unity. It's more than unity. It's way more than unity. It's way more than one strong person. It's way more than that. But you do have some people who want to, and still going to be like, man, F it, I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to do something. I'm ready to do something. But at the end of the day, if nothing changes on the other side, you willing to do something, ain't gonna do nothing.
Yeah,
will bring the same thing it's been bringing. More people getting shot in the street, more people getting this, more loot, more rioting. They think all that stuff after George Floyd, the rioting and stuff really changed. That didn't change nothing. That stuff that should have been happening. That's all. Yeah. They just gave you a little something. You gotta look at history, man. Every time you do something, they give you a little something. But also look at history, because nothing in life, nothing in our history has ever changed without violence and death. Mass violence and death. How did America win their independence?
Yeah, they didn't
revolution.
You feel me?
Shot hit right
America didn't just protest. America didn't protest to the king. Look, man, we want to do this. No. Revolution. You feel me?
Yeah.
Everything that's happened through change. Look, Haiti. Let's take it to another country. How did Haiti get their independence?
Revolution. Yeah.
Violence. You feel me? Violence. Revolution. You feel me?
That's big. Yeah.
I don't want it to go there, because I don't want to see no lives lost. I wish we could find change a different way. But historically, our country and every country around us, everything changes only when there is mass violence and death. That's when people finally want to have a wake-up call. Oh man, these people, this shouldn't have happened. Maybe we should have a different way of thinking. When 1 or 2 people pass it, that's nothing. They can just make a news story about it, and 2 or 3 weeks later, it just dies down. People wearing T-shirts about it. Okay, what's that? Yeah. No mass substantial change. No mass substantial change, and our culture. Matter of fact, not just our culture, all people of color need mass substantial change when it comes to this country and how we're seen and how we're dealt with, especially in the criminal justice system. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. What say you, Pat?
I kind of feel like that question. I mean, I think it goes without saying that we, at this point, like over the past about a year, people are more open about saying how they feel about it. They're not really holding their tongue or whatever. It's just the simple fact that Trey Songz is like, yep, I'm gonna do this Barry Blackheart video game wrestling move right quick on you. 1, 2, 3, or whatever, just out the blue, knowing that he's a known person or whatever. Like, I don't think black people as a whole got time for that shit. Just in general, like we know just off of what we seen on the 6th, on January the 6th or whatever, it was shown throughout the world that like, all right, the law really, like we really shouldn't even be giving a fuck about who carries the laws and this, that, and the third, because they're out here letting people commit treason and everything. Like it's okay. Like we already see who you're really siding with right now. So like, nah, I don't think at this point, especially, it's fight or flight or whatever. Like either you're gonna be with it and just defend yourself, and when something happens like that, you're gonna defend yourself verbally by when somebody says something you disagree with, or they say that black people act in a stereotypical manner. You defend yourself with it. Like that whole day and age of people just saying, "Hey, we're gonna go along with it," is over with. Like I feel like people are more at Biden's neck. They were like more at Biden's neck before he even got into the role of presidency as of like a couple of days ago now. So he can't just slack off on it. And that's something I'm going to bring up later. But here's another question I feel like should be answered is like, when are they going to realize that, hey, black people not going to take that shit no more?
Yeah.
Yeah, are we at that point? I feel like that should be even more a prevalent question. If we have that question put out there even more, then you definitely will have more black people thinking, "Hey, I don't got time for this anymore." Nah, if something's going to happen, we're going to respond, like just in general. So, but yeah, this is how I feel.
Yeah. Well, from the 4 black men and, Trey Songz standing up for his rights, to a man that is trampling on the rights of his followers, it's time for the
my
weekly
favorite part.
Umar update. And my people, I did not think I was going to have much to say about Umar this week because, Umar's been kind of keeping a low profile and he's been, kind of staying off live. So when he does that, it's not a lot you can go with. But, oh, man, we got something to talk about. So it started this week. My man posted a live or IGTV video, whatever it was, about vaccines being tied to a plan to kill 3 billion Africans. And my only question was, what this got to do with the school? Because it was some random man, I don't know who this man was, in his car, intro in the video. Then the video plays. Then it's this random man again. Like, I'm like, who is this random man? What this got to do with the school, Umar? Okay. So then he posted a picture saying that he was betting FDMG money on the game, on the Bills and Chiefs game, to get HVAC funds.
What?
Repeat, I want my money back.
He posted a picture on Instagram saying he was betting FDMG money on the Bills and Chiefs game to get HVAC funds.
Ain't that illegal? Ain't that illegal?
I'm not 100% sure, but it sounds really sketchy. It doesn't sound like something the IRS would take kindly to. Now, he then posted a live. Now, you notice everybody been saying, like, so we've been saying it for a minute. Like, pretty much since he left the school, we've been like, when he gonna go back to the school, though? So when you gonna go back to the school, though? Did you forget about the school? Do you still
Yeah, he
own the
did.
school? Do you know what the school is? So everybody been talking about him not going back to the school. So finally, he posted a live this week where he went back to the school, and the lights seemed to be on, like he said, but the school looks horrible. The gym floor is reflooded with sewage water. That's just sitting there. So who knows? That's been just sitting there since he left. Now remember, they was on the cleanup day back in December 4th when the anti-protest that turned into cleanup day, the first annual FDMG cleanup day. Why that's something that you want people that's already giving you their hard-earned money to be? I don't know.
Annually.
Right. But after they pushed all this water out and swept up, and they had Fabuloso and bleach mixed all on the floor, so people gonna die up in there from the fumes.
It smell good.
The sewage is right back, totaled up. I mean, it looked like a little lake up in there.
A COVID.
And then he went into the bathrooms for some reason. Those are not fully fitted with pipes. The toilets are in really bad shape, and one of them looked like somebody that took a sledgehammer to it, because it's just broken up into like literal pieces. So yeah. Then he went to the gym. He went back to the gym area, and you know how in gyms they got like the little coaches room, right? Mm-hmm. Well, in the coaches room, they got the clothing, like the basketball uniforms and stuff, from the old basketball team that used to be there from Moyer Academy when the school was called Moyer Academy. Now, the school was closed for a couple of years before he purchased the school. And this is going on the 2-year anniversary of him purchasing the school. So we're talking about several years that this school has just been there, sitting with sewage in the air. And he still hasn't cleaned out the place. Like, he ain't even took the old school stuff out of there yet. Is he just sitting there? Okay. Now, the taxes, I think, are due today or yesterday. Like, some day this week, they are due. Like his, the monthly bill that keep rolling in. So now, at this point, he is at total bills and taxes owed. He's above $200,000 now, so he's reached a milestone. And then this is where it gets good for the week champs. This podcast called Fraudsters. They do exposés or like documentary type podcasts on like different people who have frauded people. And usually they do it on people who have like been convicted of some type of fraud. So like they started, like they done got a 2-part series on Umar. Now they went in on Umar. When I say they went in, like I listened to this whole thing. They went through all the nooks and crannies. They went back, like, you know how I had to catch y'all up, right? Remember when I first brought him to y'all, like, hey, this is what I done found on him. So they went all the way back like that. They exposed all of Umar's fake claims, like one by one. They found a review of Umar's book from somebody who done bought the book. Like they got the book in their hand. The book is not properly cited. So it's like, it's not peer reviewed. It's not, if you're a scholar, you're supposed to, present your work to a body of your peers and have them, also run their experiments, run their brains across it. And then if they agree and, it's a consensus enough, then, you get published, None of that. He didn't cite no sources from where he got his information from, nothing. Half of the book are blank pages every few pages, just blank pages for notes. But it's just like a page that said notes at the top, and then it's a blank sheet of paper on both sides. So it's so he basically got filler pages to pad the book length. They checked his 501c4 through Charity Navigator to see, like, what should you be providing legally as a charitable type of organization, right? He should have his EIN, his board or his like governing body listed, and he should have documentation of where his funds are being spent. And this is at minimum. Then they checked. They found his EIN. The fraudsters found his EIN and checked with the IRS, and they're still waiting on the response. So they're probably going to do a follow up at some point if they get that information back from the IRS. Then they debunked some more. They went so far as to sign up for the Loyal Donors Club. So if you remember, I told y'all Umar got this thing where like you can pay every month. Like you gotta just donate once. You can pay $50 for bronze or $100 for silver or something for $250 and another $500 and something else for $1,000. Like he got it all lined up for you to keep giving him money every month. So they paid for the bronze membership. Now with any membership, you're supposed to get entrance or a link or something like that, a phone number into WhatsApp. So it's like a cheap group meet. So you get up in WhatsApp and then he talk to you and he tell you whatever information he got on the school. So they signed up for the Loyal Donors Club. Never got the link to the WhatsApp group. Been hitting them up, trying to get information about it. Couldn't get no information about the school now that they done paid their money, and they can't get into the WhatsApp group that you're supposed to get information into if you sign up for this Loyal Donors Club. They then had a lady on there named Ebony Chappelle or Chapel. I don't want to mess her name up, but her name was Ebony. She's a writer basically, and she used to support Umar. She was down with him, you know what I'm saying, as far as his information as far as about the school system reforms type stuff. You know what I mean? Just like everybody else, he get you what he knows this part. So he stick with that. And then he started going with the kooky stuff and lose you. So she interviewed him back in like 2017-ish. And she found him to be very homophobic and misogynistic during the interview. And when she had went to like see one of his live, his shows, so he's tossed the same exact speech that he says on Instagram Live all the time. He says that at every one of his actual live shows. So if you go to pay anything to see him, you also get the same thing you've already seen for free 100 times. But she interviewed him and she said he even went so far as to threaten this lady that if she writing a negative article, some could be bad for her. Threatening women? You threatening women, man? Now, the walls are closing in on this guy, and the 2-year anniversary of him getting these trap bandos are coming up in literally like 3 weeks. Like it's about to be February is the anniversary is coming up. So I know he's gonna do some wild stuff coming up. So look forward to some shenanigans coming soon. But that is the Umar weekly update. Fellas, if y'all have any takes, you can take it away.
Scamming ass Umar.
Yeah,
Scamming ass Umar.
I don't ever trust anybody that adds WhatsApp for some reason. I don't know. I don't know.
Who uses WhatsApp?
I don't even know what that is.
Why is that your business model? Like even we got a business email. Hey, you know what I mean? Like contact us here. Like, and we will email you back.
Maybe one WhatsApp.
We're not gonna give you no WhatsApp. Like he could have at least had a Discord. At least that's like something like from this. So I'm done. I don't know where to go with Umar no more. I'm just waiting for the empire to crumble because it's happening. It's going to happen. Like you can see the walls closing in on these little hotel hustlers, man. That be like just scheming and scamming and like, oh, I'm siphoning a little more out of them. I got them while they weak. Oh, COVID got them, huh? They're ripe for the picking. Let me holler at these single moms and get them on my side. Yeah, that'll make sure I get my money.
All the single ladies.
Shit's stupid, man. Hey, people out there, fellas, don't grab no man bag in no weird way, man. Watch how you grab the man bags, man. Pause. But if you carry one of them Mercies, watch how you grab that book bag, man, because that's still gonna look crazy. I'm telling you.
Oh my God.
To be honest with the viewers, he's saying that because I like to be transparent.
You
I
gonna
like to
look
be
like you
transparent.
holding the purse for mama at the mall when you was a kid.
I
Like,
would
hold my
like to be
purse for me
transparent.
while I go in the store.
I had pulled up my bag, and it's like I don't know what's the proper way of pulling up, because either way, like if I use both my hands, it's gonna look like I roll
Look how
like
you
I
hold
roll
it. If
Simba
you gotta hold your bag like
like
this,
a baby or something.
man, if you hold your bag like this, like a clamp,
Oh my God.
like
Like,
if you got a cramp, hold your bag and present it with a little hand under it. Don't get that bag.
I just wear it across my strap like I'm Indiana Jones. That's how I try to be. Indiana Jones was like my favorite movie.
Ain't nothing wrong with it, but Indiana Jones had a satchel too.
Yeah. You got to, man, when you got, swinging through the jungle, finding treasure and shit.
All right. To keep it moving on, we're going to talk about financial literacy and the importance of financial literacy in our community. All right. Now, people wonder, what is financial literacy, you may ask? I looked it up so I can give you all the exact definition of financial literacy. So, as I read it, hold on. Financial literacy is the ability to understand how to make sound or good financial choices so you can effectively both manage your money and grow your money. Basically, you want to keep making money and get to the point where your money is growing and making money for you. That's basically it. But why is it so important in our community? It's a couple of factors why I personally believe it is important in our community. First, with more financial literacy, we can kill that spend it as we get it mentality. Because with our culture being historically, we never really had nothing. When we get money, we just want to go ahead and buy the stuff we never had. Because we don't understand the effect that money has. If we keep that money and save that money, we can get something bigger and better that may accrue money. Like it can grow with your money. Get some artwork. Getting a chain don't mean nothing. It ain't gonna appreciate with value. You feel me? You gotta learn how to use your money to grow for you. Second reason, we need to start building generational wealth in the Black community. It's not enough wealthy Black families out there. There's Rockefellers out there, but you don't see the Johnsons or the Joneses. It's no family like that out there. I mean, you have a few Black rich families, and now we have billionaires out there coming in the last couple of years, Black billionaires, but we really don't have it to where it's generational. Most of these young millionaires out there that's in the rap game, most of them, they're still in the streets somewhat. They may be millionaires now, but with them living their life they living, that money gone. Either they still hustling in the streets, going to jail, as we often see that, or they getting shot, getting killed, as we still often see that. There's not too many of the young ones who's doing something prosperous and putting their money into other avenues to make their money once again grow and work for them to make your money make money. Turn the page. Another reason for more financial literacy in our community is to understand that money goes in and out of our hands so fast and it goes into the other community. We don't put that money back into our own pockets residually. We got to spend it on Black businesses, but that also coincides with financial literacy of those Black businesses as well. Because if those Black businesses don't understand how to effectively use those dollars they receiving in revenue, they're not going to last either. And they're going to be open one day, close another, as we often see in the Black community. Black businesses are open up, a couple of months later, it's gone. Yep. Is it bad management? Is it not good financial literacy? I'm going to blame it on poor financial literacy, because I'll see a pop-up different culture store in my neighborhood, my old neighborhoods all the time. They pop up and they stay. Their business plan ain't no better as their financial literacy. They understand how to move the dollar. They understand how to take that money and let that money grow for them and work for them. Yeah. Next, we need to break that cycle of the Black ghetto life. Remember, with more financial literacy, when we do get money and people are in the hood, they'll understand how to use that money to get out of the hood instead of using that money just to bring more material objects back to the hood. Don't get your first big lump sum of money and just go get a big car. Understanding that big car you're gonna have to replace, or you got to put maintenance on it. So that big fancy car, that foreign has foreign machine parts. You can't go to AutoZone and get that. You gotta go take that somewhere.
Germany.
Sure, you may have the money to do it. You feel me? But that shit becomes expensive. If you really truly financially literate, you're not trying to spend and dump money all the time on this. Be smart. You ain't gotta show off and be flossy and flash for everybody else. Why? At the end of the day, those are your belongings. You know how much you spent on it. It don't matter what nobody else thinks. At the end of the day, we all know we was born by ourselves. We're gonna die by ourselves. We gotta effectively use our money to make it work best for us, and that only comes with more financial literacy. I feel, me personally, we should have that curriculum in schools nowadays, and it's not taught on a level that I think it should be. I think we should start teaching financial literacy at the 5th grade level, because at that level, most kids are getting allowances. Most kids are understanding more how money works because they go to the store with their parents and they're understanding how to pay for stuff. They know how to count their money, but they don't know how to use their money. They don't know the effectiveness of how to save and what saving will do. So I feel if we start putting that in the small curriculum in schools, as they get older, that concept will be that much easier for them, and that eventually help us not have so many people in debt. So financial literacy is the key. What y'all think, man?
Definitely wish they had a financial literacy class in my 5th grade on upwards. I would be balling right now. And right now, I would be balling. I wouldn't be wearing no. I don't try to be flashy anyway. So I would definitely want to just, how to say, have it at least to the point where when I saved up and I got to my 20s or whatever, I could do whatever, project that I think could take me somewhere, to go somewhere, and I think that's good now, because nowadays I see more like younger kids, they have parents that are more financial literate in general, and they get them into the right aspects. If he wanted to be a producer, whatever, they can get him, I said the wrong word, but they can get him into the right, I would say, the right community of people to teach them what they need to do to get to the next level, or whatever talent or whatever passion they have, pretty much. But I also feel like that now with technology, it forces us to be able to get to knowledge more quickly, so we can have, like, we don't have to wait on somebody to tell us what we need to know to be financially literate. Like, we could just look that up right there online and then just go step by step. Where, 10, 20 years ago, we didn't have that. You had to like go to somebody that they had a degree in finance, or they're an accountant, or, or a business owner in general to get that information. And usually those people are too busy trying to figure out their own business and their own financials to be trying to give you a full class, a full-time class on something, And a lot of times people want quick answers, and I feel like financial literacy is not one of those things you just get a quick answer to solve your problems. That's one of those things you practice and learn over time.
I definitely agree with you on the longevity piece, where like it's an over time thing. But overall, with financial literacy, I think this is definitely a huge missing piece in our community. But it's because I think it's getting worse because of the fact that you have technology. Like, I think technology makes a lot of people now experts on nothing. Like, they end up being just dummies when they talk, because they're so used to being able to look up everything. Your brain don't really retain nothing. So you're not learning anything. You're just regurgitating something that you read. And what happens is you don't have the proper context in what you're reading. So like when you talk about financial literacy, like, you might have somebody that go out there and like, yeah, look at the stock market, but like, also like take the time. Like realize you're not gonna learn that tomorrow. Like that's not something that's, oh, I watched a YouTube video and now I'm an expert on it. Or like even just budget, like making a real active working household budget. If you have a certain amount of people in your house, or you have a certain amount of bills, even like that's not something that you just get just because you see a chart. Like that's something that you want to actually have an understanding of, like, okay, so this is actually how utilities work. This is how mortgage fluctuates. This is how tax works. This is what's going to be taken out of this, and this for this insurance. And this is how that insurance is going to come back on this. Like you want to have an understanding of what those things that you're filling in that chart is. So I think it's not taught in school. It's not taught. It is taught in schools if you go to college. It's not taught in a lot of high schools, because you got to remember, high school is not meant to make you a business owner. It's literally still under the old design where it was meant to make people functional and literate enough to go work in the factories and understand how to work the machines that they worked in the factories. You know what I mean? Like we're actually going to, I don't even know what the next bubble going to be, but we're like in the middle of this like technological revolution, and we're still living by industrial revolution standards when it comes to education, period. So like, that's really the answer. Like education is broken. So the goal of education as a structure, not necessarily individuals, but the structure of education is really set up still under the old model of make these people be able to function from the farm. First of all, that's where it first started. Like, let's get them ready so that they can actually go work on the farm a little earlier, so they can have an understanding of how to calculate, where I got this amount of wool from the sheep, so I'm gonna be able to get this much at the market, that type of thing. And then that evolved into the industrial revolution where, like, we got to have them function enough to be able to go work in these factories, and we got to make sure that they're all, can they understand what they're doing over here, so we're not getting a bunch of people killed. And then it went into, we're going to keep that model, but we're just going to keep calling it something else every few years to appease people. And we're going to unionize it so that we're going to have enough teachers that get so tired of fighting against it, they'll just sit with their tenure and get money. And that's a lot of public school districts. And then you got other districts where it's like that system has been ingrained so much in our psyche, like people don't even know how to get out of it. So that's why they don't teach it. But yeah. Yeah.
They need to teach niggas how to use their money more.
Yes, they should. I definitely agree there.
A lot less people would be broke,
including me.
Yeah, but I think that's where it comes to, like, each one teach one. Like you said, it ain't up to nobody to tell you, but I think it is up to, like, a lot of times as OGs nowadays, like, people don't want to talk to the younger people because they feel like, well, the younger people don't want to listen. But like, tell them anyway. When you was younger, you didn't want to listen to somebody, but that lesson still comes back to resonate. So like, even if you just look at it like, I'm planting the seed so that one day when that situation do come up, you might remember a piece of it that at least gives you a springboard to go find the rest of the information if you don't remember what I said. You know what I mean? Like, I think us pouring into those next generations, even, as parents, what I'm saying, making sure that we teach anything we learn along our way to financial literacy, anything we learn as we, gather more and more tools into our toolbox for as far as how to understand finances, how to build wealth, etc. Like, it is incumbent upon us to do it. Since the system ain't gonna do it, let us be the ones that's the teachers. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I look at it. Like,
takes a village.
Yeah, like, what I mean? If you see the problem there, like, if you can't do nothing about it, point it out. But if you can do something about it, or if you can be a voice for it, like, go ahead and do that. So I think, like, if everybody get that mentality of, like, I might not be an expert, but hey, this is what I do know, and this is some information that got me started. You take it and run with it, but at least you got this beginning knowledge And that might be everything that I know up until this point. But at least you got that, and now who knows what you'll do with it, because at least I gave you this little piece. You know what I mean? So we all look like that. You know, we build a nation of people who get back into being intellectual and get back into really doing research and not just, you know, that microwave education.
Shit. But I definitely agree with you, man. I just feel like a lot of people in our communities don't understand the importance of making your money work for you. So they all still believe in that fast money lifestyle, not realizing like it ain't no retirement in that fast money lifestyle. Not too many people making that fast money is turn that fast money into something that can work for them. So
It might think
change.
They might think that fast money lifestyle is financial literacy. And being that they think that way, they're going to keep doing it.
Yeah. These rap hustlers too. That's the new, I'm going to go sling these beats. Not realizing that market is saturated.
Very. But every market seems to be saturated, just except for teachers and doctors, nurses.
So I'm gonna go on the face hates and 11. As we all know, I always started out with 5 things I hated, and then last week I went into things I love. So I figured this year, 2021, I wouldn't be so much on hate. I would involve things I love into my speech as well too, to try to give a different perspective and give myself a different outlook instead of trying to be so negative all the time. Because every time I hear y'all talk about me, y'all say I be mad all the time, or I don't mess with a lot of people, I don't talk to people, something like that. So I gotta take a deep look at myself. You feel me? I'm always talking about this smell theory and being aware of myself. So I realize like I'm negative sometimes. So I'm gonna bring some positivity in the things I bring into the weeks going forward. So the first thing I want to talk about that brings me joy, one of the first things I love, is just the joy of a child's laughter. You feel me? Like regardless of how mad you are, hearing a kid laugh, that's gonna make you smile. I don't care who you are, it's gonna make you smile, laugh, or something. Just to hear a kid bust out laughing. Not no mean kid. I mean like a little kid, like 3 and below. To hear kids and babies laugh, it's something soothing, it's something therapeutic. It just cools the soul, excuse me. Next thing I love is the feeling of knowing you can make a hater hate on you. And most times people get mad like, yeah, they are. You feel me? Like the haters go hate, but when you know you making them hate, enjoy that feeling, revel in that, because that's a great feeling because you know you doing something good. It's something you doing. You feel like something you doing is positive enough to make another person negative and look at you and say something about what you're doing. You may not know what it is, but you got to move forward and know I'm doing something good. Look at that hater. Hey, look at that. Why are you looking at me like that? Oh shit, I'm doing it right. You feel me? That's a great feeling. I love that feeling. You feel me? I love that feeling. When they looking at you with that lizard face and you just looking back, smiling and she's like, "Yep, you see me. You see me. I don't know what you're mad at, but you see me." Now to take it to a flip side, things I don't like. Now, complaining ass people. People who always got a complaint, something always wrong with them day in, day out, regardless of how good they got it. They got something to complain about. Every time you see them, every time you talk to them, hey, how you doing? Oh, I don't know. Do you know this going on? I can't do this. I can't do that. Well, damn, is anything ever going on good for you? I mean, really? Everything you always say is nothing but something going wrong with you. Is everything in life bad for you? I don't think it's that bad. I think you just like that feeling of somebody always want to think you the victim or thinking just want to give you that empathy. It got to be a syndrome out there about people loving empathy and loving sympathy. It got to be something out there. I don't know the name of it, but I guarantee it's something. Because it's people that just get stuck on that. Every time you talk to them, well, what you doing today? Well, I got to go up here because I got to pay this bill. And you know, I ain't got this money. Well, damn, everybody got bills.
Yeah.
Everybody got complaints.
Pretty much.
Everybody got complaints. You feel me? Like people ask me every day, "Hey man, what's going on?" Ain't shit. I can't complain.
Because ain't no need to.
Basically, what am I complaining for to you about my what's going on with me? Because at the end of the day, everybody got something going on with them. You feel me?
Yeah.
That they ultimately want to complain about. But why am I complaining? Don't complain about it. Do something about it. Do something to change your shit you complain about.
Right on.
Do that. You feel me? I wasn't go to other shit I hate, but I'm feeling real good in a positive mood. So I ain't gonna go too much hate shit. I'm gonna leave the hate shit right there. You feel me? Like I was just looking at a baby laugh, so I can't be too much mad. You gonna move.
A good life.
Shit.
Well, better work and keep
what you got?
Get the air of positivity, keep it going, especially along with all the other subjects we had so far. So what happened today? The Biden, he passed this, he's been passing executive orders and bills the whole day. Mm-hmm. So one of them, he was talking about racial equity, pretty much, eliminating, like, you know how they have area specific where they try to push Black people to live in that area or whatever, or they try, I forgot what it's called, redlining, eliminating redlining. And then it's he also granted that the federal government do not use privately owned prisons anymore. So he also doing that, pretty much. So I just brought that up because it seemed like it relates to like the first two topics that we were talking about. He did like a whole speech or whatever. I was trying to watch it on Facebook or whatever, but the comments kept getting on my nerves because like it was still like Trump supporters going up, and I'm like, how do these people still have the internet, and why do they have the internet?
Why do they still have the internet?
Why do they still like?
Because this is a free country, champ. Like them Trump supporters ain't going nowhere, man. That's still half. Like you gotta think about it. It's still like half the country.
I was like, dog, it's only been
make me some shirts.
They ain't going nowhere. Oh yeah, like old boy.
It's like it's been a whole week. It ain't been but a week or whatever. And he said, all these executive orders or whatever, when we had a whole year of executive orders. But yeah, that's pretty much just giving y'all an update on the Black side, what Biden seems to be trying to do, pretty much trying to keep our foot on his neck in general.
He need to do something.
Yeah.
I said through a Black president that didn't do nothing for me, so I don't expect much from him either.
Yeah.
I don't know why people expect presidents to do something for them, man.
Yeah, I just expect them not to get us killed. Like I feel like Trump was going to end up getting us killed by some country because they were going to get tired of it. But
some country,
other than that, I don't expect a whole lot from politics right now. Still too much of the old guard in power. So, you know,
I never
politics is usually wild.
Politics, man. I never expect much.
And I thought this was pandering, but he was also talking about putting Harriet back on the 20 again. You know, we've been waiting for that for 4 years.
You can,
but that's
some lady made a good point. I can't remember who it was, but on Twitter she was like, "I don't want Harriet on the 20. I feel like a woman that was already used as capital shouldn't be used on capital." Like, and I kind of feel like I'm good. I don't want her being passed around as currency.
And then after a while, we're not even going to be...
Give her a monument or something, or like memorialize her in a real way. Do something, pass a bill that directly gives us some type of economic freedom or equity that we didn't have before now. Otherwise, leave Harriet out of it. Let that lady rest.
And the way things are going...
already screaming at her grave. I don't need no more.
I feel Go ahead, man.
I was thinking the way things are going with currency anyway, and in general, like cryptocurrency and just the simple fact that I can go to stores and they don't allow cash, and you know, because of COVID and everything. So and last year it was like a coin shortage in general. So I feel like after a while we're all going to cards and Apple Pay and things like that anyway, because just seems like the way things are going. I feel like the COVID situation kind of jump started a lot of things
That's
that
a
was
good point.
about to happen anyway, pretty much.
Yeah.
But what say you face?
I'll put it like this. Why would you ever want to put a black woman on the dirtiest thing that we have? Money is the dirtiest thing we touch every day.
Man, that too.
I feel that.
Money goes.
All that cocaine
Money
gonna be on
goes. Just think of what money people keep their money at. You feel me? On a daily basis. Women put money in their bra. We put money in our socks. And they drawers. People have money in their ass crack. Put my money under their and they sock with their shoes underneath their sole of their shoes. People put money everywhere. You feel me? Babies put money in their mouth. You feel me? Dogs eat the money, they shit it out. Then you go spend that shit. I mean, you just think
literally
people drug money, blood money, money with blood on it. If money is the dirtiest shit we have that everybody touches. You feel me? In unison. Everyone touches it.
Yeah.
Because if I take it out of my pocket and hand it to somebody, they gotta touch the shit I just touched. You feel me? How many times somebody handed you a wet dollar bill or some shit like that? Ugh, nigga. Why is this shit wet?
Yeah.
Why the fuck is this shit wet, nigga? Dollars don't come wet.
You waved that.
It can be just out of the. It could be just out of the washer, but still, you know what I mean.
You got a napkin I can put this dollar in and soak this shit up, son.
Yeah, that's real.
Look at this soggy ass dollar. You know what the fuck going on?
He
cloth.
He cried.
Oh man.
Oh man.
Hope. Oh man.
You know, that's our show for the week, folks. As always, we got the video clips coming out this week. The podcast drops every week on Wednesday nights, Thursday basically at 12 a.m. or you can say Wednesday night at midnight, whichever one you prefer. However you want to say it, it'll be there by then. We on literally everywhere. We're Googleable. So you know,
Googleable. I made that
catch
word.
us pretty much everywhere. Probably the first video clips coming. I don't even know this week. It's a lot this week. We gonna see what happens. If you are listening to this podcast, man, do yourself a favor. Become a member on our Buy Me a Coffee site or become a member of our Patreon. When I tell you, it is so much that happens that you don't get to hear or see. It's so much context and subtext and stuff. It's like little inside jokes that y'all would never get unless you, So
all the single ladies.
Go to buymeacoffee.com. Just type in the Podnas or go to our Patreon. You get access to our unedited videos. Tiz Takes blog when we come in this week. We got some stuff to talk about. I got some rewatches I'm about to do. So we got some stuff to talk about there. And otherwise, man, if you can't support financially by, going to our buy us a coffee or our Patreon or just, dropping some in our Cash App, cool, no problem. The best way you can support is not only what I'm going to have Faye say, but just like, comment, subscribe, share our stuff, interact with our content. We talk back if you comment. If you agree with us, let us know. If you disagree with us, let us know. We're always down for the dialogue, man. That's what this is, just one big conversation. So join in on that conversation. And you know what I mean? What y'all got for me, guys?
Before I move on, I still want to say it's still an open invitation for anybody who is a supporter of Umar, to email us at our email, come on the show, and have an intellectual conversation. We still have questions that have still not been answered that you may have answers to, because you may have an insight that we don't have. And I would love to have an intellectual conversation at any point. Please do. But moving on,
Before you go, I
we're
gotta
gonna
speak
have
on that one real
go
quick.
ahead. Go ahead.
It's not a Umartian, but we may have a Umar only show coming up. There's a guy who did an article on Umar who said he wants to come on our show. He may have some insight or something. So we're gonna holler at him, see what he's about, and we may have a guest where we get to kind of go a little further on this Umar conversation. So
Chop it up and
stay
get some more
tuned. Stay
intel.
tuned, folks.
But moving on the partners closet, we're going 50% off on all merchandise from the 27th to the 31st of January with the promo code partners 100. That's PODNAS 100. Once again, that's all merchandise on thepartners.com will be 50% off with the promo code partners 100. PODNAS 100.
Yeah. What you got, Pat?
Right. As always, you catch us on our Facebook and our Instagram and our Twitter, THEPODNAS. Have features in our reels, show us a little bit of trailers of what our shows are. Couple of things working on my side. I'm working on a few interviews with artists I've been talking off to the side coming up. So I'm working on that and here at the studio. And that's pretty much it for this week.
And one more huge thank you to Josette Miles and Gator Girl
Yes.
04 for giving us
Yes,
our
once
first
again, thank you,
financial
thank you.
contribution. Thanks for buying the merch. Thanks for, your
All
financial
your support.
contribution. It literally, this is just our dream right here. We just, get to live out our dreams every week. So at the end of the day, man, thank y'all for supporting. Thank you guys for subscribing on YouTube. We're literally like 6 or 7 away from 100 subscribers. So that was literally our goal for our first year and a half. And we're almost there in 3-4 months. Oh, we're 4 away from 100.
Just checked.
Oh my God.
96.
So thank you guys so much. We hope that our
thank you.
content enlightens you, entertains you. I hope it just, if even if you think we simple and goofy and you just watch us just to laugh at us, cool.
As long as you get some type of entertainment from us.
That's it, man. If you enjoyed yourself while joining in on our conversation every week, man, we appreciate the love. As always, man, I'm 1/3 of the partners, your boy Tiz, along with
It's your homie Padawan here at the Matriarch Gallery here and with my homeboy.
There's a space in the place, and I'm just trying to stay ahead of the race.
already, man. Partners, man, we out. Peace.